What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Captain Trucker here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive deep into why more Americans are going to be choosing the Philippines as their next home in the next 10 years. Why there could possibly be 1 million American expats here by 2034. But beyond the numbers and the lifestyle, it's essential that us vloggers and expats are attracting the right kind of tourists, the right kind of Americans coming to these countries, all right? People that are more family oriented, that aren't just looking for quick thrills and sex tourism. Because believe me, if I can't have 10 girlfriends, nobody's going to be able to. No, I'm just joking. But seriously, stay tuned. We're going to look into this. We're also going to look into how neo-social media colonialism is shaping the perception of these developing countries. But before we get into it, I want to give you guys an update and show my day with my son and how we're progressing in his education, and particularly phonics, so stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna work on phonics, okay? We're taking you ahead of grade, you're in kindergarten, but we're gonna do some first grade stuff, okay?
Daddy, what? Okay, that toy is from
we're working on
Ten.
phonics.
Pam and Pat.
Pam
A
and
decodable
Pat.
story. Illustrated by Cedric Guerin.
It's a decodable story. What does that mean? Well, I know what it means, but it's very important that you develop a neutral English accent so people won't be able to determine if you're American, British, or Filipino necessarily by the way you speak. We're going to give you this unidentifiable accent. How about that?
that one.
Because we don't want people defining everybody. That's what the world does. They try to put you in boxes and they try to define everybody like he's a this, he's a that, he's a this. And we're not going to let them do that to you, son. Okay? We're going to make you an independent.
Yarr. Welcome to Crowd Crawl. We can finish the story.
I mean,
And be careful.
hair.
Yeah. Her. Say her.
Her.
Yeah. H-E-R, right?
Hair.
Yeah.
Catch the word her.
Where's her?
Here.
That's right. High five.
What is the first sound in jet?
The first sound.
That one.
The first sound.
What is the first sound
Fur.
in jet?
Set.
Yeah, that's right. This one, right?
Yeah.
Ja. Because it's a J sound, right?
Yeah.
Say it. Ja.
Sh.
Jet.
Set.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait.
Good job.
Can I put it, please?
Make sure you
Wait it.
pronounce the beginning and the end of it, okay? It's important. There you go.
What is the last sound in 10?
It's supposed to be N.
Yeah, N, right? 10. Good job. Remember,
Is
patience.
the last
Yeah.
sound in 10?
What's patience, son?
Boy, I'm waiting.
Waiting, right?
Yeah.
Without complaining.
Yeah.
Waiting without complaining. That's right. Patience. I just added the complaining part. All right, guys. Welcome back. So, yeah, I'm kind of happy with my son's getting better at his pronunciations and so forth. But let's get back to the main topic. The U.S. is becoming more isolated every year in a sense, the feeling of living there. So we got to look at the culture, the mental health, and materialism when we talk about this, all right? And we also obviously have seen a rise in like mental health issues with anxiety and depression reaching all-time highs. Materialism has become more ingrained in the culture with many Americans. They're basically stuck chasing wealth, careers, and status. But these pursuits obviously leave people burned out and unfulfilled. And I mean, there's even studies that show like developing countries have higher satisfaction and happiness rates compared to developed countries with much more money and a better GDP. So there you go. In a sense, and I mentioned this before, like the West sometimes kind of does brainwash people into believing that success, it's all about what you own rather than how you live. So in contrast, these countries like the Philippines, they offer like an antidote to this mindset, like a simpler life focused on family, community, and personal well-being. And you know, we also got to look at like the draw of the Philippines and like the risk of sort of the wrong kind of tourism, if you will. So the Philippines does provide a lifestyle that's affordable and meaningful. You can go to Cebu or Davao, you can live comfortably. It's true, at a fraction of what it costs in the US, but it's not just about money, it's about the family-oriented culture. So Filipinos place immense value on relationships, respect, and community. And not all expats, they come with that right mindset and mentality, because some individuals are still treating the Philippines as a playground for sex tourism. And it's a trend that's harming communities, it's harming expats, it's harming everybody. It undermines the respectful exchange between cultures. And, these temporary exploitive type of tourism really helps nobody long term, and we all know that. It creates social friction, and it reinforces negative stereotypes about expats. And, you still have plenty of vloggers, and it's not just one, two, or three. There's groups of vloggers out there that are pretty much promoting trash messages, not even directly sometimes, but indirectly. And it's kind of up to us to stop supporting these people, And I've said it before, I'll say it again, expats who are looking to build real, lasting lives here, we gotta figure out how to contribute positively to the community. Not just exploit it for personal gain. I mean, we are seeing more vlogs and like families move into the Philippines, and it tends to integrate better because it aligns with the values of the Philippine society. Family, relationships, and long-term commitment over short-term pleasures. And like I said, if I can't have 10 Filipino girlfriends, nobody will. I'm just joking. I'm not going to say that again. So, another concern we got to address, and it's something that I've coined as neo-social media colonialism, and I alluded to it before, and I'll say it again. I've talked about it in other videos, and it's basically the simple idea of us foreign influencers and vloggers can unintentionally reshape local cultures by imposing Western values through social media. But not even necessarily Western values, but really you can just say the value of men that want to pursue their own self-indulgent, type of shallow tourism, as I said. And it's so obvious what's going on in some respect, and I think so many people underestimate, because we all tend to rationalize and justify what we do. I think a lot of people underestimate the influence of vloggers and other people. But to put it simply, this kind of influence can distort the local culture, because not all the Philippines is Angeles City, not all the Philippines is red light districts and these other major cities or whatever. That doesn't represent a country with 111 million people. Some vloggers running around like, promoting garbage basically. And when they do that, it's making it harder for communities to maintain their identity. Foreigners, tourists, expats, whatever, if they fail to respect the traditions of the social norms of the Philippines, they risk becoming more of a burden and a benefit. And not just that, it's obviously creating friction that's making us expats look bad. And, we got to make sure like the expats of the future respect the local customs of the culture they're moving to. We're moving there. We're coming here. They're not going to us. And there's always ways that we can all we can all contribute to the community in meaningful ways. So like I was saying, man, by 2034, the Philippines could see like a huge influx of foreign residences, okay? There's some projections suggesting like 1 million Americans alone. This doesn't take into account European expats and expats from other nations, all right, living in the country. And but in the bigger picture, the people that are going to thrive here long term are the more like family focused value type of people, because the other type of tourism, you can't sustain it. Go look at a guy in his 60s and 70s chasing women his whole life with no kids, with no wife. And look at the kind of life he's going to live eventually. They all burn out. They can't make it. You can't sustain that type of lifestyle, no matter how like hardcore these guys think they are. Like raising a family in the Philippines as an expat can offer unique opportunities, all right? And it can still instill the important values that we still have in the West. Not all the West is like bad, man. There's a lot of good people in America and Europe, man. And we can start to see more of these people come out to the Philippines. They're still Western people. They got respect for elders. They got strong family bonds and a sense of, contentment too. Some of us. And as I mentioned in my discussion about parenting, like I even encourage my own son to embrace the Philippine and his Western heritage while learning the importance of humility and integrity. Okay? And the other factor that's going to be driving people is the remote work, all right? So they're saying, some studies, whoever that is, by 2030, more than 30% of the jobs in the U.S. are expected to remain remote or a hybrid, giving people the freedom to work anywhere. So Americans are increasingly realizing they don't need to live in high-cost cities where they can work remotely in places like the Philippines. The only issue that's hindering some people, for tax purposes, a lot of companies require you to be physically in the United States to work with them, okay? But there is ways around that, like with VPNs and stuff like that. So you do have a lot of people that are using like VPNs to change their IP addresses and whatnot to work outside of the States. But I'm not sure that's ethical or legal, but I've just heard some people are doing that. It's really about the taxes. I think it's like tax law in the U.S. I think you physically have to be in the U.S. for tax reasons. I think that's what most of that's about. But let's talk about the challenges for expats and the opportunities. Adopting to a new culture, man, it takes effort. It does. It takes effort, and it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, I know for me, it took me probably a year or two to sort of get used to the provinces in the Philippines and to get used to the pacing of it and the lifestyle. And, the city that I'm walking around in right now, it's a small city, really. I think there's only 60,000+ people here. But to this migration to have a positive impact, it's crucial that we attract, the people that want to contribute to the local community, not just looking to exploit it. And I know exploit is a controversial term to use. It's a very broad term, and it can apply to a lot of different things. And, many people are probably guilty of it in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's just something to think about. Yeah, man, the Philippines, like a chance to escape the materialism and the mental health pressures of the West, but, only if expats, again, are willing to adapt, to build real connections. So if you're thinking of making the move, man, do it for the right reasons. Be ready to learn and contribute. And this beautiful country has got a lot to offer, man. And not just a place to consume, but a place where you can collectively belong. You can start leaving behind some of that individualistic mindsets and start thinking more collectively. This can help us all, man. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's going to be like more Americans, possibly up to 1 million here by 2034? Or do you think that's just, maybe over-exaggerating the growth of Americans coming here? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate it. As always, please subscribe. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Until next time, it's Captain Trucker. You guys be good out there. Bye-bye.